That's right. So as of 30th of June, anybody has the right to request flexible working. I mean, that's what the law says, but in reality, anybody could have asked for flexible working in any event. But now we hope that more people will take up
Doesn't mean you'll get it.
Doesn't mean you'll get it. It's just a right to request. I think there's still likely to be more women asking for it in order to, to deal with childcare arrangements. And there are some concerns that maybe men who want a golfing day on a Friday will get it above women who need it for childcare arrangements. But I think employers will be sensible and will look at everything on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. All right, let's go through the pregnancy issue, which is what we're talking about, maternity, paternity. Yeah. So first of all, what are your rights during pregnancy?
Okay, so as soon as you are pregnant, you are entitled not to be discriminated against. That's the first and foremost right. Obviously, employers need to know that you're pregnant. Most women don't feel comfortable telling their employer until they get to about 12 weeks. So it's a good idea to tell them sooner rather than later in order to get that protection. You're entitled to paid time off for antenatal appointments. And from October, fathers will also be entitled to go along to those appointments, and that will be paid as well. At the moment, they don't have that right. There's an entitlement to a risk assessment as well, so depending on the type of job you do, it may not be appropriate to continue doing that job during pregnancy or return to work if you're breastfeeding.
And if you have experienced sickness as well, you can take those as extra sickness days on top of your normal sickness time that you would get. You
shouldn't be discriminated against because you've got a pregnancy-related sickness.
OK, what about during maternity leave?
During maternity leave, that's a day one right. So as soon as you are employed by someone, if you get pregnant, there's no qualification period, you're entitled to maternity leave. It's a 52-week period. It's the statutory maternity pay that you need to be employed for about 6 months before. It's quite a complicated way of working it out. So it's 6 months before your 15th week before your due date. Oh, wow. So look at your due date, count back 15 weeks. If before that date you've been employed for 6 months, you'll be entitled to statutory maternity pay. And that's 6 weeks at 90% of your salary, and then 33 weeks at the statutory rate. Some employers are more generous and may give you more.
What about actually during?
During,
so whilst you're
on maternity
away,
leave. So there's 10 keep in touch days that you're entitled to, which will be fully paid, allow you to come back into work or keep in touch with them in other ways, have meetings to find out what's happening.
I'll be back just to annoy you. Hello!
You could do 10 shows. 10 shows.
We worried that might be the case.
You're entitled to all your benefits under your contract, apart from for pay. That's the only thing that you're not entitled to. And obviously, keep in contact if there's reorganisations, restructures, and your job should be kept open for you.
Is paternity leave changing now?
Paternity leave will be changing as of April next year. So there'll be something called shared parental leave. So mums and dads can share the period of 52 weeks.
What a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. So the mum has to take the first 2 weeks, which is compulsory. She'll need that time. She'll probably need longer. And then they can elect how to share the rest of the year.
But not at the same time. They have to take it separately.
They will be able to actually take it at the same time. I understand. Yeah. I mean, we're still looking at the regulations, still stuff coming through, but it looks like they can take it at the same time.
And going back to work?
And going back to work, you're entitled to your job. But if your job is no longer available if you've been away for more than 6 months, then you're entitled to something that's a reasonable alternative. Keeping on a maternity cover is not on. You're entitled to your job back if they're saying they're going to keep on the maternity cover.
And if you're not happy with any of this, what do you do?
If you're not happy, speak to your employer. Speak to them first and foremost. Don't go straight charging in with a grievance. If it's not going to be resolved, raise a grievance through the policy, and then think about speaking to ACAS, who might be able to assist you to conciliate some sort of conclusion.